Hello again, everyone. Mr. Lorber here to take you through Week 1, Task 2, your initial PB Works post. In this task, you are to view a video, which you are doing now, that tells you about the task, as well as a second video that will tell you how to cite sources, and we'll talk about what we mean there in a minute. In this task, you are to create a PB Works page for Week 2, and on that page, you are to compose a post that answers each of the essential questions from this week. Your post should not be numbered. Instead, it will be well written in paragraph form. All information that's not your own original idea should be cited as mentioned in the video that you're watching now. I would expect a minimum of one paragraph per I can statement per week. Note that this means that by design, some weeks require some more work than others. Some weeks have less. Some weeks have 2 I can statements. Some weeks have 3. So your workload does vary a little bit. Some I can statements and the essential questions can be addressed in one paragraph. Some require more. The video that I'll show you each week will help clarify expectations. So some of these essential questions can be done in one paragraph. Some might need some more writing. So let me show you what you need to do. In your own personal wiki, if you follow the tutorial for creating a page, you'll have week 2 here. I might also suggest that you have your notes ready and nearby, whether they're in your notebook or kept otherwise. And you might want to keep Delicious available so you can go back to any links that you have chosen or tagged for this assignment. All right. So the first now while I do expect you to write for all 3, I'm going to model how I would expect to do for one of them in turning them into a paragraph. I've picked what I think this week is the toughest I can statement, looking at the different kinds of systems of government and the disadvantage of those. So what I'm going to ask you to do in this first post is to copy and paste the I can statement that you're working with, just so I know that you know what you're talking about. And let's get that back in the window here so we can easily go back and forth. All right. And again, your paragraph should, if we're looking back at the assignment, answer all the essential questions in one paragraph form. So the 2 questions I need to answer are: what are the different ways society is going to organize systems of government, and what are advantages and disadvantages of those? In the supplemental materials here, I've given you a short reading that you can use. You can also use different the websites you found. If I take a look at my notes, here's what I've found out by looking at civics.org, which is that short reading I've highlighted for you. There are 5 big different types of government. Autocracy, which has one person in charge. Some subtypes are monarchies and dictatorships. There are democracies where citizens hold power, and subtypes are direct democracy and representative democracy. There's oligarchies with a small group in charge, theocracies with religious groups in charge, and anarchies that have no government. And I've listed some of my advantages and disadvantages I pulled from the reading as well. So what I would do is, the first thing I would do is to start with a topic sentence, as all paragraphs to start with. So in my topic sentence should generally use part of the I can statement in there. So I might say there are many different types of government. Right. The next thing I would do is include those types of government. These types are autocracies, which have one person in charge. Democracies, in which citizens have power. Oligarchies, in which small groups rule. Theocracies, in which religious groups rule. And anarchies, in which there is no government. All right. So I've had a topic sentence. I can support that with the different types of governments. I've listed them here. All right, so I'm almost on my way to my I can. Next thing I would need to do is address that second question. The second essential question is, what are some advantages and disadvantages of these? Um, so I can go back and summarize those. I can use some of the notes that I've prepared here. Governments with one person in charge can get things done quickly, but don't represent the people. That means they can abuse power and things like that. Democracies tend to move somewhat slower, but they make sure that more people have a say. Oligarchies usually rule their own interest, and so on and so forth. So if I were to include those, copy and paste those into the sample wiki here, right? I've put together and formatted some. I've put together a paragraph that addresses the I can statement. It shows me everything that I've asked for. Now, because I didn't find that information on my own, I do need to cite my source. In this case, I found this information at icivics.org. So if for now it's enough for me that if you just put the website you found the information from in parentheses, I can go ahead and look at that website to make sure your information is good, to make sure it's a good website that you used, and things like that. So that is a quick tutorial on briefing you for task 2 and what to get done. Of course, you have 2 more I can statements to look at for this week that I'd like you to work on your own. If you have any questions, please, of course, ask me in class or send me an email. And if you have followed directions so far, you should be able to have created a page for this week. You should have written a paragraph here, or written your 3 paragraphs total for this week, and be ready to succeed. Thank you guys for paying attention today, and I wish you the best of luck with this task, which can be a little daunting, but I know you'll work through it. Thank you guys, and have a good day.